Jobbing with Nikki. Yeah, gobbing with Nikki. Jobbing with Nikki. Yeah, we're jobbing with Nikki.
Welcome to this episode of Jobbing with Nikki, and today I am joined by the legendary James Carr, because you are legendary.
Hello. Oh, I appreciate that. I don't know if I am legendary, but
I think you are. You are to me and to the True Grit faithful, and we'll start though. We're going to start far back. And we're going to start with JC Thunder.
Okay. Yeah, not many people remember JC Thunder.
No, but there is it a 5-hour compilation on YouTube?
Is there a 5-hour compilation?
I'm pretty sure that's what Jeebus said the other day. He was like, I'm sure there's a 5-hour JC Thunder compilation. So I'm going to have to go find that.
I stopped Googling myself a long time ago. It's too embarrassing.
But that's how I first met you.
I've been in wrestling since 2001. There's a lot of skeletons in this closet.
Oh, we'll have to find some really old pictures and link them in.
Yeah, there's definitely some doozies out there.
I think, that's how I first saw you, JC Thunder. And I think it was a Mega Slam show.
Okay.
Really, like, it was in a really obscure place as well. Hickman Dwight.
I remember, yeah. Yeah, there weren't many people there, were there?
No, I got my tickets for free on Facebook. They said, if you share this post, you'll get 5 tickets for free.
5? Oh, wow. They must have been really desperate for that one.
so I think it was me and my son, my friend, her partner, and her kid. We were like, why not? Yeah. But, like back in the day, you were everywhere, really. Like, you did grapple, you did BWE, you did BWE, didn't you? Yeah?
No, I didn't do BWE.
Yeah?
Really? I don't think so. No, that was the one that was run by Glenn, right?
Yeah.
No, I never did that one.
To be fair,
back then, like what? I was, I guess, in Yorkshire. Obviously grapple, and then I became a part of grapple running it, and had a big run in Rise as well when I became Boris later on.
We're going to talk about Boris in a minute.
Yeah, did a bit of Tidal as well. I guess back in those, because I actually had 2 stints at wrestling, and that was my second stint, me coming back to wrestling, and I did it full time for a bit, like wrestling for All Star and Mega Slam, doing like the tours. So through the summer, I was pretty much full time, like do wrestling every day, just going around the holiday camps and then doing the town shows in between as well. So that was really my time as JC Thunder stroke Boris second. Yeah. And then before that was when I started in Yorkshire, then moved down to London, and I was doing a lot down south. Back in sort of 2005, 2007, I was wrestling for IPW a lot. They were like, that was a big one that I wrestled for back in the day. I used to do like a few tours abroad and stuff back in the day, which was good. Like did tours in Italy, did quite a lot over in Holland for one called DPW. So in fact, in recent years, not done any international stuff. When I was young and terrible, everyone was booking me abroad.
I'm so sorry. 1 second. What's up?
Can I just go and quickly tell mine or something?
Go on then. You could have just done that, darling. Go on, kids.
Yeah. But your first introduction to me was definitely the Mega Slam era.
Yeah, definitely. But then you moved on to Boris, and that just seemed to snowball. Like everyone loved Boris. Everyone knows of Boris. Like, where did the inspiration for Boris come from?
So Boris Kozlov originally wasn't called Boris Kozlov. This is an inside scoop for you. He was called Radikanenko, and he was yeah. And the Radik was, he used to wrestle in Sheffield, like when I first started out. And the only reason I was Russian was because we were like a splinter promotion from our training school, and we set up because we were annoyed they wouldn't let us wrestle elsewhere, which happens to loads of wrestling schools. And they set up their own, a few of the guys set up their own wrestling promotion, and then they brought me along. And the original school had a French character, and they were like, "Oh, we need a foreign one. Will you be Russian?" I was like, "Okay, I'll be Russian. I can play characters." And that was that. And then years later, I came back, an all-star, a bit like Brian Dixon was like, "Oh, JC Thunder's like, we don't really understand. There's no character there. Do you do anything else?" And I was like, "Oh, I can do a Russian," and I did. And then
I can be Russian if you want.
Yeah, and I can't do a Brian Dixon impression like most wrestlers can, but he was like, "Oh, I'm not sure. Radikanenko. No one could say that. Have you got another name?" And I just thought of the most Russian name possible on the spot. I went, Boris Kozlov, and that was how Boris was born. And then I did that on Mega Slam, and I was doing these tours, and we were wrestling like every day. And one day I was like, "So we try doing the Russian as babyface, just see if it works." Like, probably won't, because Russian's never been a babyface, but I reckon I could do it. And it was so over. It was like the most over thing on the show. And I was like, I've got something here. And I just started doing Boris babyface everywhere. Then I started doing it at Rise, and it just really worked. And I think it was because it was like, it twisted like the stereotype of Russian heel on its head. And I was so ridiculous with it that people got behind it. And I was like a living cartoon character as Boris. And I think that and it just worked.
You had the Boris bus and everything, didn't you? Like it was just everyone was for Boris. Like I remember at the times, I think it was when like Boris started going to Rise, I think, as I started slowly moving away from British wrestling, but I kept loads of things on Facebook, and it's all I would see is Boris. Everyone loves Boris, and it just seemed to really take off.
It was, I guess, like with a lot, I mean, True Grit, I do the same. I tend to go all in on things, and I definitely went all in on Boris. Maybe to my detriment. If I hadn't been a Russian for so long, maybe I would have maybe got a bit further in wrestling, because I think it put some promoters off. But some people loved it, and it really worked. And started doing the Boris bus up to North, and I'd just get a load of fans. I'd be in character all day, which was ridiculous. Wow. Have you ever watched Futurama with the Slurm guy?
Yeah.
Boris was like the Slurm guy. Like all day I'm like partying like Boris. And then at the end of the day, it was just like, I'm so tired. I've just been in character all day. And I'd wrestle a match. So we'd go on the bus. I would like go off and wrestle a match. They'd watch the show. And North used to be pretty intense matches. And then I'd get back on the bus, still in all my gear, still as Boris, and then go back. I'd usually get drunk with them on the way back, all the way from Newcastle, and I'd just arrive home like, what have I been doing for like 12 hours?
Did you ever like get home and forget you're not actually Russian and just carry on?
It was weird, like suddenly not speaking in the accent. and the weirdest part, which I didn't like, was it was fine when I was like with all the fans, because like everyone was in on it, but then we used to stop at services, and sometimes we'd all be work. You know, when like you all divide off, and I would just be in a one-on-one conversation with a fan, and I'd still be keeping up like the Boris character, and I could see them like some of them knew me anyway. Like, we know you're not Boris, JC. Like they didn't say it, but it was super awkward, and I was like, this is a bit ridiculous. And I was just walking around a service station in bright red tights and a Russian hat, which was.
Gosh, imagine if TikTok was as big then, you'd have been everywhere.
Yeah. With a few of them.
Russian in the services.
Yeah, that's true. It wasn't viral, but the thing that really took off that got popular online was Prediction Potato. Did you ever see that?
I think so.
That
I
was
think I did. Yes.
yeah. That was so. It was when the World Cup was on, and I would like have a little potato with a Russian flag, and I'd have like a different color footballs, and it would spin, and it would predict who was going to win. And initially, it was predicting every match right, which was great.
But now,
it just
obviously,
really
you
took
are.
off, and then I started going to pubs as Boris and interviewing people, like just random people, not wrestling, anything to do with wrestling, and it was just like it just got really, yeah, it was just got people were watching it, and I'd get to wrestling shows, and people that never met me would be like, "Oh, you're the Prediction Potato guy."
Why did you stop?
Well, the World Cup stopped, and it was really labor intensive. So I had to record a video every day because there were matches every day, and like have a day job. It was quite hard work.
Oh, hang on, I've got to go home and do this potato thing.
Yeah.
Get all Boris up, do your potato thing, and then you can relax. Like, I can't imagine like having to do that much, get into character just to do a potato thing.
Yeah, well, I set up like a little news studio in was living with Seb Strife at the time. We just turned our kitchen into a little Russian news studio.
But yeah, now you are known as the evil True Grit owner.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I
my most
love it.
recent.
I want to hate it, but I absolutely love it. Like,
yeah, I love doing it as well. It's been I wasn't sure if I should have made myself part of the show, and I thought about it for a long time that year because I'd had the image of me screwing over Wes for about a year before it happened, and I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do it. And then I was like, I'm a match for Brady. This is the time to do it, and we did, and it just seemed to. People knew me because they'd seen me on the shows. They knew I was like something to do with it, so it just worked. And then it's been fun, just being like a non-wrestling performer on the shows for the last. I guess it's just over a year now. I've been doing it.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's like there's one thing I love about True Grit is you do have them storylines, and you get people invested, you get people wanting to come back, wanting to travel to York, wanting to do this. Like even the fact that ZZ came out with the Rebels, like even that links back because Ivy's now co-general manager, and it all links together so well.
Yeah, and it's good that like the fans are on board with it as well. Like I think sometimes it's confusing for newer fans. I've sometimes noticed that when I've spoken to new fans, or sometimes you read comments online and they're like, "Oh, the regulars seem to get it, but they maybe didn't." But I think we're getting around that now with the recap videos and stuff. That was a big thing why we started the recap videos, and that's obviously a big thing of True Grit. Like that's why I enjoyed wrestling when I was younger. Stories. I mean, to me, that's just wrestling. I always find it weird when people like say, "Oh, True Grit's a storyline promotion." I'm like, well, isn't that wrestling? It's not like that's just what wrestling is to me. But I guess a lot of promotions aren't storyline promotions. They just put on random matches, and that's what I like. Like when I envision stuff, like it's already in my head, and I'm like, I have to put that on a show. And it's rarely it was never the wrestling moves. It's always like moments I think of, and that's what I get excited about. So I suppose that comes through on True Grit. Like I'm a 90s wrestling baby. Well, and 80s. I'm a bit older than 90s, but but 90s was when I watched it mainly, and that was like. My shows are kind of like a rip-off of 90s WWF and WCW, but luckily a lot of the fans don't realise that. So.
I think that's what makes us want to come watch it. I've said on here plenty of times, like if I can get invested at this point of my life, when I know what happens backstage. I know all the, the ins and outs and stuff. But if I can still get invested in a storyline as much as I do, especially in True Grit, Lee blew my mind.
So that was another one. I've been thinking about that for about 6 months. Actually, it's usually the things I've been thinking about that get over the most, which is, I guess probably because it gets over with me, so it gets over with the audience as well. But I'd been like, with like Sandy, Scott, and Lee, like we're going behind the scenes writing now, but I always like sort of allocate their matches, and in my own head they were developing like little characters just by who I put them with. Like I tend to put Sandy with like people like Howard and Nathan because she's so sweet and such a baby face, and the real heels seem to gel well with her. And then as we're going along, and I kind of used Lee as he would like do this slightly dickish things back in the day. And then, so in my head, Sandy was the baby face, Scott was like the neutral head ref, and Lee was like, he was the heel one, but it wasn't really said. And then we did the thing last month. Did you see the one where Scott did the DQ on Kemper? It was on the recap video. I can't remember. I don't think you were at that one in York.
I wasn't at the show, but I have seen,
And I was originally, that was meant to be more on Lee, and then the way that it ended up going, it kind of fell on Scott, and people like were booing Scott, and I was like, oh, I don't like that, because I was like, yeah, we shouldn't have done it that way, and then I was like, okay, we can actually use this to get to Lee. We'll make Lee the ref because Scott had done that at the last show, so we'll almost do a double bluff, although Bobby didn't actually mention that at the beginning of the match. He was meant to, but he was meant to do that as part of the story, like say that.
Oh, Bobby!
But it didn't actually matter. And then when Lee turned on him, the bit that I'd been thinking about was when he did the kick, and then he did a little smile and the regime pose, and then he did it, and I was like, "That's exactly what I wanted. That's great." I wanted Lee to do something memeable.
Yeah. Well, I'd got up because Sammy had come to watch the show, and I'd got up to talk to Sammy, and then we were like, what? And I literally screamed, and then Lee, as he was escaping, came running towards us. I went, don't you come near me, Lee. And he was like, oh, run off.
Yeah. Oh, that was all them, actually, because we couldn't quite work out what we were going to do with Kemper, because I didn't we didn't really want him in there when Brady came out. So that whole bit about him chasing Lee off was all them, which was good. They sorted that out. But yeah, that was good as well. And then Brady came back, which I thought was great.
Yes. And see, and now I'm already in my head, I'm like, but how's this going to work with Ivy now?
Yeah, everyone's asking.
Like, in my head, I'm already thinking, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? And that's what you want. But like you say, you being a fan, as long as you have been, is probably what makes True Grit so great, because you know what people want to see.
Yeah, because I'm like, that would be cool. And then I think other people think that as well.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Think of like the moments. And then and even the more casual fans seem to get the thing with Lee as well. They're like, oh my God, one of the ref is corrupt. Because everyone knows about a corrupt ref, don't they? Like I think that is bigger than wrestling, a corrupt ref. Like you always hear
definitely.
About that.
We're going to see Lee in a match with Scott now then.
We'll have to see how it goes.
I've seen Lee wrestle a match. I know he can do it.
Yeah, and Scott obviously can.
And Scott can. So that's what I'm waiting for now. So Scott to beat the crap out of Lee. I think a lot of us wanted to beat the crap out of Lee, though. Like everyone just.
It's that goat. It's the goatee. He had to be the heel one. He's like got the evil goatee, hasn't he? An evil smile. Yes,
definitely. But like, what I wanted to talk about is the toll it must take on you. Like, how hard is it? Like, because you've obviously got your day job, you've got other things in your life, and then you are also constantly thinking about True Grit. And I know you've got such a good team behind you as well. Like, I wanted to just talk about that and like how you manage it all, like the balance.
It's difficult. It's been a difficult 3 years, if I'm honest. Personally, I guess it's been difficult financially. I mean, it's no secret wrestling promotions don't make much money. True Grit still isn't. Like, it's starting to make more money, but it's got a lot of debt with me and other bits. So that's been particularly difficult because I've, I guess, had to cut off a lot of things in my own life because I've spent it on True Grit. And the week when I started True Grit, it actually coincided with me my previous relationship ending. It ended like the week before True Grit. And also, I don't know if you wouldn't have known this, you didn't come to the first shows. Someone dobbed True Grit into the council. It definitely wasn't the ex, because she didn't really know about wrestling. But, well, it wasn't, yeah, it definitely wasn't her. But someone did, probably involved in wrestling. And I don't want to name names on the podcast because I don't know for sure. But someone dobbed True Grit in the day of the show, saying they haven't got a proper license, and the venue had told us they had the proper license, but they got it wrong. This was Left Bank, so Left Bank called me up. I think it was 2:00 in the afternoon. Like, we can't do the show, and I was like, I've literally spent thousands on this. Like, what are we going to do? And they was like, you can't do it, and I had to cancel it, and I had to go down to the vet. I had to call up all the wrestlers, say sorry, we can't do it. Some of them wanted pay, and some of them were nice and didn't. Guess which ones carried on working for me. But I had to go down. I had to like wait at Left Bank, fans turning up, and I had to like turn them away. And I was so like down and depressed. But that was really the night where I was like, I'm gonna like make something of this, because it was real. Because originally I was just gonna do it as like a show every now and then, but then when that happened, I was like, yeah, I'm going to show, I guess, like whoever has done this to me, because it was someone who had a vendetta against me, probably, that rang up the license people on the day. And then we had the Rumble a few months later. No, we had the first show in January, and it went really well. And then they just started to pick up, and True Grit started to get its name out. But it is tricky because my day job's quite difficult in itself. I work in something called insolvency and business recovery, so it's quite a stressful job anyway. Like, I'm dealing with companies that are going into liquidation, administration. I'm dealing with quite distraught directors, a lot of angry creditors, and trying to like mediate all that. And my day job isn't just a sort of 9 to 5 one either. Like, I'm constantly replying to emails for that as well. And I will be like, so I guess like I'm working like, or if I'm not doing like something social, I'll never just sort of sit down and watch TV. I'll be working, even if it's like Friday or Saturday evening, just because I've got to, really. That's it. It's almost like running True Grit can be full time at sometimes, but then it's my choice, so I don't want this to come across like woe is me.
Oh no,
I could just stop. I could stop True Grit at any time. Like, it's completely self-inflicted, and I realise that. But
again, it shows your love and your passion for the business as well.
Yeah,
I think
it's something I think I'm good at, and I think I'm better. If I'm honest, I think I'm better at this than I was a wrestler. Like, when I was a wrestler, I enjoyed it, and I was quite good at it, but I wasn't quite as sure of myself. Whereas True Grit, I'm pretty good at this, and I'm probably a bit more confident about that than when I was a wrestler. So, and I think True Grit can be like the promotion in UK, and I've always sort of thought that, and I still hang my hat on that. Like, we're not there yet, but I do have that belief that True Grit Wrestling could be the one that has like a weekly television show that is mainstream and people are watching, and that's what I've always wanted to work towards, which is why it's so good we've got Triller and that sort of stuff now.
But I think personally, like, I think True Grit it's up there now. It's got up there, and it's one of the places that you hear younger wrestlers, or they aspire to get on the True Grit stage. It's one of those promotions. And I think in Yorkshire, I think you are where everyone wants to be.
Yeah,
everyone wants to end up, getting that spot on True Grit.
I think I think in our wrestling bubble we are, but I think we're still quite sort of small fry in the real world in a way. Like the amount that sort of goes into it, like we're still not getting, like we're getting great crowds compared to other shows in Leeds, but we're not getting great crowds compared to like what goes in and what the effort that goes in. We're not getting the rewards back yet, and I think that's because we're still not really attracting more casual mainstream fans, which is a shame, because when they do come, they love it. And I think it does appeal to people that love wrestling and people that just want like a fun night out. But it's still difficult to get people into that niche of pro wrestling, which is tricky. I guess I'm particularly aware of it at the moment because did you see the Dragon's Den thing with North?
Yeah.
Which I thought was really good. I thought North came across really well.
Yeah.
Their product came across well. I think it was Deborah Meaden. She's one of the Dragons. Her point really sort of hit home, where she was like, honestly, your product looks brilliant. It's amazing, but that's almost a problem in itself because it's obviously not attracting enough people, and I'm not sure if there's a demand for it, and that does worry me because I think there could be a demand for it, but I don't think there is there at the moment. I guess anyone watching this, just urge any of your non-wrestling friends to like come along to a show.
Honestly, I try all the time because they'll be like, "What? You were wrestling again?" And I'm like, "Yeah, because it's not what you expect." I think when you go to a live show, it is totally different. I brought my friend to a True Grit show, and she comes to more or less all of them now. And she only goes to a couple British wrestling shows, but she loves coming to True Grit. She comes to True Grit and she comes to Planet, and that is it.
Yeah, and Planet's kind of the same. Like Jake's really got a little niche there, and his shows are like, I guess, storyline and character based, and they're just like, he's like, I just want to make the most ridiculous shows possible, and like the families like enjoy it, and that's it's good. Like Jake always laughs, like he's like, I don't want someone to come on my show and start wrestling, which is true. Like it's true to an extent. Like he's still got great wrestlers on, but what he means is he wants it to be like fun for everyone, and I think it is.
And it is.
And you need to. Yeah.
But you obviously, well, not you, but we had the Nash Boat Show spin-off.
Oh yeah.
As I was just like, it's just like a spin-off of True Grit.
It was a spin-off, yeah.
Unfortunately, I was working that day, so I couldn't go. I had Nash having a go at me about it. But everything I heard about Nash Boat Show was that it delivered.
It was an interesting show. It was all right. I may have done a few things differently in hindsight. Like, I think it was maybe, I don't think there was any wrestling for about half an hour, which I think there should have been initially, which was, it would be difficult to put that one on Triller. Like some bits were great and but also I think we were taking a bit too long to get things get two things on that show, which if you've ever watched Nash Boat won't surprise you.
Exactly. I think everyone knew what to expect because we know what to expect with Nash Boat.
Yeah. But for me personally, it was one of the most fun shows I've done in ages because there's no pressure. It wasn't True Grit's name on it, and I was like a performer on the show. So that was when the show was happening. I was just sending Ace Matthews off to do all the hard bits because like no one could see me because we were like super secret backstage. So I was like,
Well,
this is
that's
great.
it. It was your show. It was their show. It was their show rebelling against.
He kept coming backstage and he was going, "Oh God, this is so stressful." I was like, "Yeah, welcome to my world. I'm loving it today."
I can't even imagine like running a show. Like I'd love to. I would absolutely love to have like run a show, even if it's just one. But I don't think I could handle it. Like I've seen how stressed Jake gets, especially.
And I perhaps should have said this before when you asked about it. I just talked about me for half an hour instead. But what I should have said is True Grit like runs because I've got so many good people helping me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't always that way. And it took a long time to get a good team together. And a lot of that stemmed from us being terrible at something, and we've got someone good in. Like the production now is amazing because we've got Simon, and that's because finding him was just like a gem, because we went through so many terrible lighting people and terrible sound people, and it was something I know nothing about, so it was so frustrating because I was just like, that was awful. And I would say, I was like, why was that like that? And they would just be like, oh no, it's fine. And I was like, oh, it's not fine. And then like did you ever go to the Blue show? I hated the Blue show. You might have been there and not remembered, but for me that was the turning point. The lighting was like blue the whole time because we had a lighting person, and it was like blue and like really we had one fan leave because it was like the lights were so intense. It was giving they weren't having seizures, but something was happening that was bad, and they had to leave. And after that show, and the film quality was awful as well. And then now and that was on the same show, and I got rid of them, got Simon in for production, and then Robbie, Tony, Ant, and Matt, who we had this weekend, and they're like our core team. Well, it used to be another guy called Andy, but he went off to Red Pro. They are just great. Like, and you've seen the video packages that are made by Robbie. I think Robbie is like one of the best like videographers and highlight package guy in the country now. He has been an absolute game changer for True Grit. Another thing we were bad at was social media. Like, I'm not up with the kids on social media, and I didn't have enough time to do it either. And brought in Piper, who you may have seen at shows, and she's great at it. She does all our social media now.
Love Piper. We all love Piper.
Yeah, that's been a game changer for us. And now we get people sort of seeing us a bit more outside of the realms of just the wrestling bubble because of that. She's been great. My merch team are great. Like the main two, Stuart and Georgina, my sister, and then we have others that come in as well. We also got Dan's Cans in York, and like they've been great. And that was just things that people don't think about. And now we got such good team. And because I used to help out with before, that was a big thing actually before I became a character, because I used to be on the floor a lot, like running between backstage and the floor and like telling merch to do stuff. And I was really worried that was going to fall apart when I stopped. And then I was obviously mistaken. It didn't need me at all because they just they do it really well without me. And like they drop me the odd WhatsApp when I'm backstage, but they've just got such good handle on like meeting all the fans and being great. And so the fact it's developed into a thing where like I'm almost not needed for a lot of it is great. And like I'm kind of just there for and I guess the wrestlers themselves, some of them are great at the creative. Like I'm good at the macro stuff, and I'll have like an image, a few like points I want to get across on the show, but I'm sometimes not so good at the micro stuff. Like I won't quite know how a finish will work, or I won't know like the little intrinsic bits in the matches. And I've got some great people who fill in the gaps for me. And like Brady being one of them, he's brilliant. And I never really knew that Brady was so good at that, because I always thought like he was a wrestling guy because he's so good at wrestling. But then when he came in, I realized like he's really good at the creative stuff, and he often like will tidy up stuff and make it better, which is good. And actually Ivy was good at that as well. And the stuff with Brady and Wes, I think really shone because of that, and the stuff with Ivy and Zizi did as well. Like I view those four almost as like the original like pillars of True Grit. Like they really got us started with the. I view them as the pillars, and then there's the 6 tag pillars as well, which is Misery Business, Nash Boat, and Crash Boat. Before Regime came along, because they were like the originals that really were like True Grit's own and helped build it up. So yeah, the fact we got all those wrestlers, and then the refs as well, such a good ref team. I think
Definitely.
like we've talked about them, but they're just 3. They're like characters in themselves. I don't actually need 3 refs really, but I do because they work so well together. And like other shows don't. I should reframe that. I do need them. Sorry if you're listening, Sandy Lee and Scott. I do need you. You're very important. But what I meant to say is that other shows don't have 3 refs, but those 3 like they coordinate it so well. Like they do the timing well. They like communicate between backstage and the wrestlers. They communicate with the wrestlers during the match, and they know what I want. They're really like respectful as well, but then they'll also give their own. They're good creatively too. So they're good. Commentary team, love them. Asaya and Mark, I think, are so good together, and I think Lucia does a York shows as well. She's great too, and all those little things just make True Grit better than what it would be if we didn't have those things. So I should have started putting over everyone rather than just myself. But there we go. I'm the dickhead boss.
The most important person, Bobby Cash. Like,
oh shit, yeah. Oh my god, he'll be fuming. I didn't mention him.
It wouldn't be True Grit without Bobby Cash. I don't think
it wouldn't. Yeah. And before you rudely interrupt me, I was going to get to the most important guy, Bobby Cash. No, Bobby is amazing, and
he is
like, and he does so much because he's there for the whole show, and like he does the bit beginning backstage. He comes out, like, he doesn't get a break really, because like even during the interval, like you'll want to go have a break, but I'm like, get out there, do the raffle, do the meet and greet. And then, but he loves it and he does all the voiceovers too. Bobby has been amazing, and he's so into it, and actually like I know he sometimes like doubts himself as well and thinks like he didn't do a good job, but he's been great, and I think he's amazing. He should be working more places. Selfishly, I'm kind of glad he doesn't, because I think he does make True Grit better than others. But for him personally, I'd like it if he was doing others. And I think he sometimes puts that on himself, where the reality is, and you'll know this because you're ring announcer too for places. A lot of people don't think about that stuff, and they don't really put value on a ring announcer, or they'll just bring in someone who is like their relative or a friend or something. It's like a secondary thing to them, where it's actually a really important part of the show. And I think people would rather cut costs on the non-wrestling roles than they would the wrestling roles. So people like Bobby and the refs sometimes miss out on shows because of that, and it's not their fault. It's because other promotions don't put value on something that actually should have a huge value on it. Because a good ring announcer makes the whole outfit look professional. There we go. Well, there we go, Bobby.
I've taken some little, tips from Bobby when I first started and that. And when I do host a show, I try and bring that energy that I know Bobby brings. Like, I messaged him when I first started it, and I was like, will you be my sensei? Will you,
nice.
And he's like, well, I don't know what advice I can actually give you. And I was like, just anything. Like, he was the one that I looked up to the most, like ring announcer wise. Like, I just loved the entire energy that he brought. And in my head, I was always like, I said to Bobby, I said, I'll never be as good as you. And he's like, what you want about? And I'm like, I won't be as good as you, but just tell me what you can.
Yeah, he's great. And like, he's on every show pretty much,
Yeah.
bar a few. And whereas the wrestlers aren't on every show, he has been an absolute game changer for True Grit, definitely.
It is incredible. Now, we did get a couple questions.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Someone wants to know the regime origin story. But I think we may have already covered
that. Well, the regime origin story, have they not been watching the shows? It was when I turned on Wes in a match. Did the ref thing. I screwed him with Brady. And then I brought in, Sash, Brad, and Franco to almost be my security against Wes. I'm trying to think of the moment where I actually made it a faction and made it a thing. So I remember they were like my security when I was in the little pulpit on a show. And then
you just stand there with your angry face.
Yeah. Animated, face.
Yeah.
Sucking lemons.
I love that. I love that face you do. It's brilliant.
I know you do. Sometimes I see you or other people react to it, and I know you're laughing, and so it makes me do it more.
Were these always the people that you envisioned having in the regime?
No. So I'll tell you their origin story. They just started coming to shows actually to help out, and they're obviously like really passionate and wanted to. They started off as runners, and they just turned up. Like there was one show where Franco just turned up and helped with filming, because I think we were a cameraman down, and it was a bit like, oh, we got a big burly cameraman today. It's bigger than all the wrestlers. And you may remember the match with Brady and Wes, the first one, when Wes came out with the Gladiators. Brad was one of the Gladiators, which is quite funny in hindsight, because now he's like against Wes, and it was him and Ernest Boggs. They were the two Gladiators that came out as part of his entrance. And Sash had kept turning up, and he was doing things in like pre-shows. He'd done commentary with me, and they were just like turning up and helping. They were going above and beyond, really, and like just helping out with the shows. And I wanted to find a spot for them, and they were all like in a group anyway. So I was like, why don't I just get them as my little group? That just sort of works well. And then young Joey came along, and we turned him heel, and I guess the rest is history. That was another thing I kept umming and ahhing about. I wasn't sure if we should turn Joey heel. That wasn't the original finish to the match, actually, and I'm so glad we changed it. Originally me and Wes were meant to go out earlier, so it was meant to be the last two. I think were meant to be Franco and Joey. Like they were almost battling for me and Wes, and then I think Franco ended up beating him, and then Joey was going to be really upset at himself because he felt like he was the one that was responsible for Wes having to leave, and he was going to be upset in himself because he was babyface.
Right, yeah.
And then I remember thinking, like, that's crap. Why don't I just turn Joey heel? And then he actually is responsible for it. So I have a lot of bad ideas too. I must, you only see the good ideas. I'm sure I put some bad ones out too, but it changes a lot before it gets to the final product, definitely.
I personally think turning Joey heel was the right call. Like,
oh, completely. Like, I can't imagine doing anything but that now. It was obviously the right call in hindsight, and beforehand, but that was what we went with. But beforehand, I was like, with my heel turn, I was umming and ahhing about that for ages, because I was like, do they really want to see like this? Because I was like the neutral promoter character, who just came out to like do bits on the mic when we needed to. So I was worried about I couldn't be on like the floor anymore with merch, and I was worried about I can't set up matches anymore. But then we got around that by making Bobby, giving him more of a role as manager. Yeah. And then it was like, crap, we haven't got a heel. So then we brought in Ivy to do that. And it just sort of solved all those problems. Again, yeah, it turned out I wasn't as important as I thought it was. And other people could just do that role. And it worked. And it made it better.
Yeah, you can just stand there doing grumpy faces now. Another one I got is, why are you the best promoter in British wrestling?
Oh, that's nice. Someone said that. I don't know if everyone would view me as the best promoter in British wrestling. I mean, I'm not technically, like, I'm certainly not making the most money, which I suppose from that point of view, I'm not the best promoter. But I can only say what people have said to me, why they enjoy True Grit, because I think I give people think it's got a good atmosphere. Both the fans and wrestlers have said that to me. I think that largely comes down to I've worked for a lot of dickheads in my time, and I didn't want True Grit to be like that. And I only book people I like. Like, in the moment someone like either doesn't want to be there or they don't fit, I tend to like not book them anymore, because I want True Grit to have a good atmosphere. And it generally is backstage, I think. So I think it's a good atmosphere backstage. I think creatively, both I come up with good ideas and I also give people the freedom to come up with their own ideas. And people are comfortable telling me when my good ideas are not that good, they're shit. And so that creative process, I think, is good at True Grit. Like, it's a bit, I don't think anyone feels uncomfortable putting their ideas forward, and generally I never feel uncomfortable if someone comes up with a better idea than me. I'm like, fine, we'll go with that. But likewise, if I think my idea is better, I'll stick with mine. And I think I do that in a respectful way. So it's just, I think everyone like respects each other at True Grit, which I think people like. Obviously we got Left Bank, which is a great venue. I think that stands out compared to a lot of places.
Yeah.
And I think for the reasons I talked about before, like, I don't really think it's me as good promoter. I think I've got good people around me, like Robbie with the video, Simon with the production, Bobby ring announcing, and our commentary team and the ref team as well. I think they really are the backbone of True Grit, and they make it. Yeah, so it's not really me just as a good promoter. It's everything around True Grit that makes it good. But it's nice that someone sent that in as a question. Certainly, yeah, bigs up. Yeah, gives me a nice ego boost, so I like it.
As it should. What's on your Christmas wish list? That was another one.
I haven't really thought about Christmas. I'm a bit like my character. I'm a bit of a Christmas Scrooge in recent years. I don't. Yeah, I mean, at the moment, all I think about is Christmas is the Rumble. That's how sad I am.
That's not sad. I can't wait for January, because every promotion has a Rumble.
I really enjoy our little Rumble advent calendar we do every year.
Yes,
Really, oh shit, we're almost 30 days away from it. I need to get the poster done for that. But yeah. Apart from that, I haven't really thought about my Christmas presents and stuff yet. But it would be nice to like see. Yeah, I think I don't always enjoy seeing my family at Christmas, to be honest. But I think this year I am looking forward to that. And a few things have changed in my life recently, so I'm perhaps looking forward to that more than I usually do. So yeah,
that's a positive.
That is a positive. But in terms of Christmas presents, I haven't really thought of that yet.
And when are we going to see Wes get his hands on you?
Well, that'll see. I have to give him his job back first.
I can't wait. I honestly cannot wait to see you and Wes in a match. And yeah, I love seeing Wes. It's great. One thing I've liked is when I've come back to wrestling is there is a lot of the old faces still.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see how far everyone's come and whatnot. Because I know I used to go to Grapple, and obviously you were running Grapple. And the difference between that and True Grit is night and day to me now. Like,
yeah.
Totally
But it came
different.
from Grapple. Like that was my promoting origins, really.
Because I went to the first Fibbers one in York? I think you put that picture up of the queue, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's me!" Like I had my Sean Only bag, and it's me. I was like, "Oh my lord!" But I remember
Sean Only bag. I didn't know you had a bag.
My friend had one made for me. She had a Noam Dar one, and I had a Sean Only.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and we came to
you
York.
long term Sean Only fan.
Yes, see, there's a reason I cheer him.
You know, he's my longest standing feud in British wrestling, pretty much.
Really?
Yeah. So we had a massive. You didn't see this because it was all at Rise. We had that was my favorite thing I did at Rise. My feud with Sean Only. We feuded for 2 years there, pretty much.
Wow.
It was really had a really good we had a chain match to finish off with, which was really good. Really enjoyed it. I think we were just such different characters. It just worked. It worked really well. And then at True Grit, when he was heel and I was a neutral owner character, we sort of feuded. And then obviously recently he's turned babyface and he's going against the regime. So it's just like we're destined to fight forever, as wrestling fans would say.
But we need Sean Only to bring in his boys. I mean, you've already got most of them. Get him to bring his boys against the regime. That's what we need.
That's true. Yeah. Well, we've got the rebels to deal with first.
Yes, exactly. But he is one of my favorites, and the fact that I can now cheer him again makes me very happy. Because I remember you messaged me after you'd reinstated him, and you said all I heard was you cheer. Everyone else was booing, and there was just me going, yes. But the True Grit that everyone talks about with me is Sammy Blue's debut.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the best days. But
Sammy's been amazing too.
Oh,
he's been great.
I can talk about that guy till the cows come home. I love him. He seems to have really fit in well. Like the crowd really love him. So
he does, and his match with Shay was great.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
absolutely incredible. It was like they worked so well, and he was there on Friday. And when Jackie were getting involved, I kept turning to him and I'm like, "Are you helping Shay? Are you here to help Shay?" And he's like, "No." That's all I kept thinking. I'm like, "We need someone blue to come and help." And he's like, "Stop looking at me."
Yeah, it's tough. There's so many good wrestlers now that are associated with True Grit. It's difficult because we only have 7 matches. It's difficult getting everyone on. That's going back to the struggles of a promoter. One of the hardest bits is editing. Like editing the wrestlers, because you develop a relationship with them as well, and you feel bad when you leave people off, but you can't have everyone on every show, especially now we've got 5 belts now if you include the Hot Tag Foundation one. So that's, if you have all the belts defended, which you don't need to on every show, but you got 5 matches, and then you got a sponsored match. And then you got Lally. Who else can we go on?
I'm loving the Lally story.
Yeah,
it's been so fun to watch. And the match they had with NRG was just incredible. It was so fun. I love the dynamic.
It was so fun. It was just so good as well. Watching Lana powerbombing them and stuff. I was like, this is incredible. Like, do it. I love seeing babyface Lana because you don't see it much, but I've seen
Exactly.
it. Have you heard of GPW? Have you ever been there
Yeah.
in Wigan?
I haven't been there, but yeah.
So that's like the only place that she does babyface. I think she may do other ones, but that's the one because I've seen her do babyface there. And when I've seen her, I remember I've been like, I'd love to get that on True Grit someday because it's like a different Lana. She used to tag with her brother there, and it was just really good. And she does like the flying head scissors and all sorts, and other stuff. And then she did that on Friday at True Grit, and I was like, there we go, babyface Lana. Great.
One thing I always notice about Lana is no matter where she goes, she has always got one group that will cheer her no matter what.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's great from a fan's perspective, is that you don't, again, at True Grit, you can go and you can cheer the bad guys. You can be part of the regime. You've got your own merch, it's, it's another thing that's great. Because I know some promotions, they don't like that. They don't like you to cheer the bad guys. They want you to boo the bad guys, cheer the good guys, because that's how it's supposed to be. But I think another thing is that the fans feel that comfortableness at True Grit, that they can just express themselves, which leads me into the Pride shows, because this year's Pride show was insane. Like, I don't even want to call it a Pride show, because the fact it was a Pride show is irrelevant. The talent and the matches on that show was amazing.
It was probably the best show of the year. Yeah.
That main event could main event anywhere.
Oh yeah, completely. It was so good. And the Pride shows that's something that I guess I never expected. I didn't really think about when I started True Grit. And I guess it was initially down to Priscilla and Commander Stephanie Sterling, because they were so popular. And also I sort of chatted to my sister about it a lot, who's she's also in that community, and I said, like, maybe we should do a Pride show. Do you think that would work? And she was like, yeah, definitely. I think that would be really good. And I was like, okay, yeah, we'll try and we'll just do a Pride show, just see how it goes. And we did the first one, and Priscilla, who Ollie I've known for years, winning the first Pride belt was just amazing. And then that was like one of the best shows of the previous year, and so well attended. It's like, we'll do another one of those. And then this year was just incredible, one of the best shows we've ever done, and one of the most well attended too. It's the only thing I don't like about it is I don't like the fact that some of the wrestlers on that show, I only book them for the Pride show, and I feel a bit like they might feel like they're being typecasted, because but the reality is I've got regular roster, so I can't have everyone on that show on my other shows, but I do feel a bit bad about that sometimes. Like, oh, sorry, yeah, we kind of got a full roster, even though you've done amazing on this show. But we've obviously had quite a few of them back, and but it was good. And it's, even though it's a Pride show, it's just a great wrestling show in itself, and it doesn't sort of fit the stereotype of being a Pride show. Like, it happens to be that people are from that community, but the wrestling is just as good. And I know Adam is like really keen to make the Pride belt like a great belt in itself, and he's proved that. And now that could main event any show. And their main event last year was just incredible.
People are talking about him and Tony Wright's ladder match for ages. Like, people still talk about it now, because it's easily one of the best matches that I've seen all year.
Yeah.
And I go to a lot of shows, but I think Adam, as well as a wrestler, take out the fact that he's part of the Pride community, I think he's got everything. Like he
Yeah.
knows how to work the crowd. His moves are so crisp and just he knows what he's doing. But I remember when he was on here, he was saying he treats it more like, like an intercontinental championship, or, it's not just Pride belt. And I think that's again what sets you apart. I think like the talent you have for the Pride shows as well, and how
it's become
much
like the workers' belt almost. That's that's like the Intercontinental title, just because he has such good matches. And when I was talking about like the 4 original pillars of True Grit in sort of Brady, Ivy, Wes, and ZZ, I feel Adam has come in as like the 5th one. He's come in a bit later, but he's another one that's kind of like in the inner circle now, because he's someone that I can sort of vibe with creatively, really, because he's got such good ideas, and he'll get excited about good ideas I have. He'll give me like his own ideas back. He's very respectful with everything, and yeah, he's just amazing. Another one like Brady, amazing wrestler, but also creatively is really good, and thinks about, and he also, even though he's an amazing wrestler, he is not afraid to be a heel. In fact, he thrives on it, and he wants to be a heel. And even the good stuff that he does it in such a way that stays heelish.
Definitely.
Like we were talking about this before we started recording, actually. So I guess we should have the same conversation now. But when we were talking about people being good heels, your sponsored match from this weekend, George Hunter and Evan Bishop, they were incredible. And I think Evan, considering like he's not as experienced as some British wrestlers on the show, he was such a good heel, and he was so giving to George, and he really like sort of just kept that match together and made George look amazing. And I think a lot of wrestlers would have come into True Grit and been like, oh, I need to impress, I need to do loads of good moves. But instead, he came in and was like, I need to make George look good, and he did. And to me, that was more impressive. He was great. And then George was obviously incredible as well. They're great. Well, I told you, my other half, who's just started coming to wrestling shows, was like, who are those 2 you had on? They're great. They can do like loads of stuff the other wrestlers can't do.
And you wouldn't think that George has only been doing it for like a year. Like,
I know.
The talent that
he has, isn't he?
Insane. But like I said to you, they were straight away the 2 in my head. Well, I had a short list. Evan knows this. But George was so happy because I was talking to George about it, and like, I want Evan, and he's like, I was hoping you were going to say that, because we've been dying to get in the ring together. And I saw them the Saturday before the match, and they were like, is there anything in particular you want us to do? And I went, no, it's in my match. I said, you two, you two do it. I know 100% that you're going to knock it out the park. And they did. And
they did. And
like the pride I felt from that match was insane.
And I didn't give them that much. Because they both came in as new characters. I just had like, have a good face, good heel match, back and forth. No, I didn't even say back and forth. I said, just get yourselves over, get your characters over, good baby face, good heel, and make Nikki feel included. And I think they did all those things.
Yes,
make sure Nikki gets some money's worth.
I got a jacket thrown at my head by Evan. I just saw him smirk at me. I was like, little shit. But no, I think, like I say, again, every show. I just love every show. I love the split rosters as well, because obviously in York it's a little bit different. Like you've got your champions and that, but there is other people at York that aren't at Leeds, and I like that. I think again that's a way for you to, because you have got so many people who want to come to your show and be on your show.
Yeah,
it's a good way for you to split that.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we're changing up York slightly because we're starting these these TV shows. So,
Mm.
but I think I'm quite excited to do that because, well, I've said earlier, like eventually I want to have a weekly British wrestling TV show. So this is kind of the start of that. We're going to. You maybe didn't see the early True Grit TVs, but they were great, but no one was watching back then. So now we got an audience for each left bank one. We're going to record like 3. They're almost like our Raws. We're going to record 3 episodes, and then that leads up to the left bank shows. So on Triller, we'll have 3 episodes, and then the paper. It's not really a pay-per-view, but we'll have like our 3 TV shows, and then our pay-per-view, and just test that out and see if people like it, I suppose. Yeah. But the one in December's, I'm pretty excited about. It's already looking good. We've got an amazing sponsored match on that one too, which I think you know about already.
I do know about it, but I won't spoil it for everybody.
And then the Rumble itself is mad. We've actually got 6 sponsorships, and some of them are pretty big names.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know any of the sponsors, but I know one name who's in the Rumble because he's been on the podcast and told me after.
Oh, nice. I wonder who that was. Yeah. 1 of 30 people, I suppose.
He's like, "You'll be there, won't you?" I was like, "Yes."
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that is it. That is all I have for you. So, thank you.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
On.
Thank you for having me on.
Me as the sponsor of the newsletter, that made my day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got to.
I shared it on my story. I was like, "Oh, I'm on the newsletter. Like, I'm sponsoring a newsletter." But I've like I say, said it all the way through. I love True Grit. I think you're just an amazing person. Like, I've loved getting to know you again and seeing you again and stuff since I've come back. It's them friendly faces that make me want to come back again. So
yeah. Oh, that's good. And well, same back to you. Like, thank you for supporting us so much. And
your sister remembers my name now as well. I walked in, she went, "Nikki, isn't it?" I was like, "Yeah." Oh, you know, it's nice when you've got that little bit of personal connection.
At least it's happening to you at wrestling shows. So I went to Wagamama with my sister and her partner on the weekend, and they recognized us because we always go like before we go to the cinema, like to the White Rose. And they brought over Lindsay's, her partner, brought over her yakisoba, which she always gets, and they went, "We've done you extra prawns this week because you didn't get enough last week." And we were like, "Oh man, we may be going to Wagamama too much."
So my local Costa know me, but
yeah,
I get a special drink that they don't make for anyone else.
Oh wow!
She said
what
she had
drink's
5.
that?
It's because they do the Black Forest at Christmas, so I have to get it as a frappe with an extra shot of coffee. And she was like, "I've had 5 people ask me what you were drinking." Because I just asked for it, and they're like, "Yeah, of course we will."
Oh, you're a real trendsetter. Well, you were the first sponsor as well, actually. Yeah, you were the first to do it, and you made other people realize it was a good idea.
And Sammy going,
they get booked up quick now as well.
Yeah. He's like, "Why are you sponsoring me? Why?" And I'm like, "Because it makes sense." He was my first guest on my podcast. He's actually, spoiler for everyone, he will be my 50th episode as well.
Okay. Yeah, I think those are the right 2 for your first sponsorship, definitely.
Oh yeah, everyone knows how much I love them. And the end of that match was just...
It was brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, I had Gung Ho tell it. He's like, "We've been practicing." And I'm like, I can just imagine your neighbours over at Road. All they can see is Sammy constantly pulling your pants down to practice that he don't get your boxes. Like, you can just picture it.
That was the only thing I was worried about. When he said it, I was like, "That sounds great. Just be careful. There's kids in the audience, remember."
I think he said he was wearing 3 pairs. I think. I know he was definitely wearing more than 2 pairs, but yeah, because obviously
they could have done the cartoon thing, you know, where they keep pulling him down.
Because obviously he was the heel, so he messaged me and he was like, "I'm round the side outside. Come and see me." And he was like, "Did you enjoy it?" I was like, "Yeah, that was brilliant." I was crying. I was laughing that much. It was great. But just keep doing what you're doing because it's working. You're getting bums in seats, as they say, and
yeah,
I that room's always full at Left Bank. Always.
it is. It's a little quieter this weekend. It may not have seen it for my clever seating plan, but it was a bit quieter this weekend.
It was the rain. The rain kept people home.
Yeah, I don't think the Friday shows are as popular, to be honest. I wish we could do all Saturdays, but we can't because Left Bank weddings pay a lot more than us, unfortunately. So they take priority. But I wish we could just do all Saturdays. I just think Saturdays is such a better day for it. But people are still turning up. We've got our first Sunday show next year, which will be interesting.
A Sunday show.
Yeah, March one. It was the only date we could get in March, so we're doing a Sunday one. I'm interested. It might actually work quite well because it'll be a bit earlier for families and stuff. We'll see. Yeah. Might not work, but we had it was either that or not do a show in March.
It might be Isabel's first True Grit show, so that would be fun.
Oh, there we go already. Yeah, selling more tickets.
I might bring her along if it's a Sunday earlier on. I might bring her along.
Yeah, it will be. It will be. It will be like a 4 o'clock start or something.
Oh, that'd be great. Because Left Bank is literally like 10 minutes from my house as well. So I love it when it's at Left Bank. I could just pop out.
God, imagine if the Sunday show actually ends up being more popular. It might have to do. It will change. Because I do sometimes wonder that they're maybe a bit late for some families, the True Grit shows.
Oh, that's what I wanted to ask as well. WrestleFest. Are we doing another one? Because that was so much fun.
They are doing one. So we're kind of hiring it out to. They've actually got a second pub, a much bigger one with an outside bit, and they're doing a bigger festival. So they're renting True Grit. So WrestleFest is happening. I think I've got a date actually. It's like the last weekend of July, Saturday. So yes, we are doing WrestleFest.
Oh, brilliant! I loved that. I think it was just different.
Yeah,
like you had the fire dancing women, you had the little art like games and face paint.
Yeah, that was all them. That was great.
It was absolutely incredible. Like I loved the whole vibe of the whole day.
The landlord of that pub who put it on with us, he comes to every show now with his nephews. Yeah,
really,
he's often on front row. Yeah, he's called Scott. Keep your eye out for him. I
will.
Yeah.
I know the bus driver.
I was going to say bald guy with a beard, but then I realised that's everyone at True Grit, including myself.
Yeah,
so it doesn't really narrow it down.
I think it was the York show where the minibus driver came in and ended up watching it as well, and he really loved it. So
yeah, it's a shame not more people want to come to York on the bus. I think they're missing out.
I loved it. I loved going on the bus. I had Venga Bus playing and I was dancing away.
Yeah.
I think I annoyed everyone, but...
Is that why people aren't going on the bus? Now I know the real reason.
It was me, because we kept calling it the wrestling G bus because Jeeps were on it. This is what we need to do. We need to promote it as the wrestling G bus, and we'll... I loved it though. I loved traveling down, and we had wrestling theme songs on all the way, singing away, all of us. It was great. There needs to be more of things like that, for fans who can't, who do need public transport, because sometimes, especially getting back, can be really difficult. But like I say, keep doing what you're doing with True Grit because it's working. And thank you so much for chatting to me.
That's all right. No, thank you for having me on. It's appreciated. I don't do many of these, so yeah, it's good.
Oh,
I like
well,
it.
I'm gonna take that.
Okay.
Right. Thank you very much for watching. I have been Nikki. This has been incredible. JC, we all know and love when he's not doing that grumpy face. So thank you.